are listening to Geek U on Radio Free Radford with Lucas Goad, where we talk about all things geek related. Hello, everybody. Are you enjoying this cold weather as much as I am? It seems like Captain Cold from The Flash or Killer Frost has been messing with the weather. Maybe it's the Weather Wizard. If you watch The Flash or any of the Arrowverse shows, you'll get that. But all right, we got some great topics here today. First off, I want to talk about Sony has started their production on the new Venom movie. Now, last week I talked about how Venom has been adding cast members and everything, and how this just seems like a random movie for them to make, but hey, I'm willing to give it a chance. But hey, they've cast some really good, well-known actors, specifically Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy's usually almost always good, so there's that. If you haven't seen the movie Bronson, that is a movie that I really recommend. That's one of his greatest performances ever, so you should definitely watch that. It was on Netflix like years ago. I think it was taken off, but hey, that's what Netflix does. They take off your favorite shows, even though you're watching them and loving them, but hey, that's something for a whole nother day. But yeah, this Venom thing, I am willing to give it a chance, but Sony, they have a terrible track record. They have been announcing all of these movies for their Spider-Verse. Now, the thing about this is, I don't even know if Spider-Man is even going to be a part of these movies. The way they act, they're just saying, hey, whatever we have, let's make our own shared universe and everything. But Sony doesn't seem to know what they're doing. But hey, I'm just making accusations. I don't know how everything is going to go. But what I do know is that the Amazing Spider-Man franchise failed miserably. And by that I mean the Amazing Spider-Man 2 they ended that movie and it left on a cliffhanger. They were building all this stuff up in that movie, but they never did anything with it. And then we got Spider-Man Homecoming, which I'm glad we got Spider-Man Homecoming because that's a great movie. And Tom Holland is great and everything. But, I do know that there are some people out there that wanted to see what happened to Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. But Sony they messed up. And with all the Sony leaks and everything, that's what gave us Spider-Man in the MCU. Now, the deal between Sony and the Marvel Studios, it's kind of weird. They're doing this co-ownership thing. And Spider-Man can be used in the movies, but Sony wants to also do their own stuff with the Spider-Man characters. So, yeah, we're getting this Venom movie. I don't know anything about it besides it's about Venom. And Eddie Brock is going to be played by Tom Hardy. Now, from what I've heard, it sounds like it's going to be based off the Lethal Protector series. And that is where Venom goes to San Francisco and is a bit of a vigilante. He's really violent. It was in the 90s, so yeah, that's a period of time that was all about the extreme vigilante type characters. So I'm not sure what to expect in Venom. My thing about this is if they make him a hero, it kind of cheapens the character because part of the thing about the character in the comics is this character development where he just goes from a character that straight up hates Spider-Man to a bit of an anti-hero. So I don't know. I guess I'll give the movie a chance, but if it's bad, don't be surprised. It is Sony after all. And speaking of Spider-Man, in Marvel Comics, it was announced that the character of J. Jonah Jameson will be learning Spider-Man's identity in the near future. Now, for those who don't know, Marvel is going to be doing this thing called Marvel Legacy, where it's basically like DC's New 52, where they bring the characters back to what made them so great and everything. And Spider-Man, it seemed like they didn't know what to do with the character of Peter Parker for a while. They tried to make him this Tony Stark-esque character where he had this company which was made from Dr. Octopus and the Superior Spider-Man. I recommend that. But, and those who don't know, J. Jonah Jameson has had a long history of absolutely hating Spider-Man. Now, and I'm interested in seeing where they take this. Now, J. Jonah Jameson, he's not the mayor anymore. He's not in charge of the Daily Planet. So, does he really have a reason to have this absolute hatred of Spider-Man now? In some incarnations, J. Jonah Jameson's reason for hating Spider-Man is because he wears a mask and won't show his identity, and his wife was killed by a person in a mask. And in some other versions, specifically the Spectacular Spider-Man cartoon that aired a while ago, which is a really good series, I highly recommend you watch that. But anyways, in that, it was shown that Spider-Man upstaged his son, who was an astronaut, who just arrived home. So, yeah. But I'm really curious where they take this. If J. Jonah Jameson finds out about Peter Parker being Spider-Man, what will happen? Will his mind explode? Will the entire Marvel Universe explode? I don't know. Will he just accept it? I'm just speculating here, folks, but this sounds like an interesting development, and it sounds like a cool way to shake up the Spider-Man stories. Now, speaking of the Marvel Comics, they are giving Thor a new look. Now, for his new look, Thor has a golden arm, and it reminds me of when they cut Aquaman's arm off in the 90s, and he had that fishhook replacement, so that's just what I thought about. But anyways, something else is that they had the female Thor, Jane Foster, take the place of Thor, being the one who wields Mjolnir. So what happened to that? How are they going to change that? How are they going to explain that? But hey, like I said, I'm always willing to give Marvel a chance on anything. I love these characters. But Thor, he's in the comics and even in the movies, he's always been one of the least interesting of all the big name characters like Captain America and Iron Man, Spider-Man, Black Panther. So, I wonder where this is gonna go. He looks all right. He has the beard, which I guess is inspired by Chris Hemsworth. Or maybe he's keeping it from the Unworthy Thor series that happened. But I'm interested in this, I guess. I'm like I said, I'm not really that much of a... I mean, I like the character of Thor, but he's not the character that I always go out of my way to see. But I'm really interested in where Marvel takes this. Speaking of Thor Ragnarok is going to have the first LGBTQ character in the Marvel movies. Now, they have a few characters like this in the Netflix series, specifically in Jessica Jones. One of the people that Jessica Jones worked for was in a relationship with another woman, so how do I feel about this? I think that it definitely feels more realistic. I mean, out of all these characters and everything, there's not one character that's like that. So, anyways, the character Valkyrie, she is apparently bi. I have no idea if they're going to address that in the movie or not, but they probably should. It's just for the fact that in the movie Ghostbusters, the 2016 version, they said Kate McKinnon's character was gay, but you couldn't really tell that, so they just explained that after the movie. But I hope it's not like that for Valkyrie. She's a good character, and from what I've heard, she's stealing the show in the movie. So I wonder how they're going to play with this. And by the way, if you're one of those people, if you're one of those people that thinks that a movie is ruined or something because there's a character in the LGBTQ community, just get over it. I remember a lot of people were fussing because the character of LeFou was gay in the Beauty and the Beast. By the way, it was really just like a 2-second scene of him dancing with another guy. Nothing really out there or anything, but there are several shows with that out there. The Office wasn't ruined because of Oscar. The Legends of Tomorrow and all the Arrowverse shows aren't ruined because of characters like Mr. Terrific and Sarah Lance. So if this bothers you, then don't go see the movie. If this ruins everything for you, it's so much more than just, I don't know, it irritates me when there are people out there like that say, oh no, I don't like this thing, so I'm not gonna go see the movie or whatever. Just, it's a movie, people. It's not real life. But anyways, speaking of movies, Aquaman has wrapped up their production. Now, I have been following the production on this show, or on this movie, for a pretty good while now. I'm a really big fan of what I'm seeing. Jason Momoa, like I've said, I am really interested about what he's gonna do with that character. He seems like dude bro and everything. So, recent interview, they said that Aquaman isn't the Aquaman from the comics yet. He's not the king of Atlantis yet. He's not, he doesn't really like people from Atlantis. He's not a big fan of Atlanteans. So I'm really interested in what they do with that character, and what I want to see his development and everything. Because, like I've said, Aquaman has been kind of a joke character, and there are a lot of people that make fun of him, saying that he only talks to fish. He's so much more than that. He's a person of two worlds who has to choose between people on land, the place that he's grown up his entire life, and the people of Atlantis, the people that he is supposed to be ruling and everything. I want him to have that conflict, and I'm really interested in James Wan. He's made all these movies and everything like The Conjuring, so yeah, I'm really interested in that, like, because he's able to work with a smaller budget, so seeing him with a bigger budget on Aquaman, I'm really interested in. I'm a fan of their casting. Amber Heard is absolutely gorgeous as Mera. Patrick Wilson as the Ocean Master, who, by the way, is Aquaman's half brother. One of my favorite stories with him in the past few years, you should probably watch it. The Throne of Atlantis. Him and some other Atlanteans try to take over the surface. I highly recommend that if you're able to get the comic, or hey, they made a animated movie a couple of years ago. If you're able to find that, Justice League Throne of Atlantis, I highly recommend that. But anyways, yeah, they also released a promotional picture of a T-shirt that is supposed to be merchandise for the movie. A picture of it had what I could tell is one of the creatures. Looks like it's going to be the Trench, which are this monster kind of like creatures from underwater in the Aquaman comics. And Ocean Master's mask in it looks really good. It looks exactly Tor from the comics. I'm really excited with everything I'm hearing from this movie, and James Wan seems to know exactly what he's doing. That is the part that is getting me the most excited. So, anyway, speaking of Aquaman, the Justice League movie, it's gonna be a pretty short movie. The runtime is apparently 121 minutes. Now, to those who aren't math savvy like myself, that is 2 hours and 1 minute. This is a short movie specifically for the DC films, where Batman vs. Superman was 2.5 hours long. Man of Steel was over 2 hours. Wonder Woman was, I think, like 2 hours and some minutes. I don't think it was 2.5 hours, but I don't exactly remember. Suicide Squad was pretty long, but with that being said, yeah, 2 hours. They have all of this stuff to show and everything. Like, you are introducing the Flash, you are introducing Cyborg, you are introducing Aquaman, you are building up Darkseid with the main villain Steppenwolf, so you also have to focus on him. You also have to focus on Superman's return, because spoiler alert, he died in Batman vs. Superman. So yeah, that seems like a lot to cover in 2 hours. They can do it. I mean, the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie, that is 2 hours long. And it was really good. It was a really focused story, but with everything that Justice League has to focus on, I just don't know how they're going to do it. Now, they could surprise me. Joss Whedon is a really good director. Maybe they just cut out a lot of stuff that weighed the movie down, that didn't need to be in there. But, yeah, I am really curious. See, the part that makes me nervous about this movie is that the review embargo is going to be released on November the 15th. My birthday, by the way. But that is 2 days before the official release of the movie here in the United States. So they did that with Batman vs. Superman, which got plenty of bad reviews. They did that with Suicide Squad, which got a lot of bad reviews. But with Wonder Woman, they released it like weeks ahead of schedule. And that movie got like great reviews. So is this because DC and Warner Brothers doesn't have enough confidence in the movie like they did with Wonder Woman? Or I don't know, it might be something, but obviously it's something, but it's something that I have no idea about. But it makes me nervous because I saw this with like I said, I saw this with Batman vs. Superman, I saw this with Suicide Squad. Those movies tanked. And I saw this with Man of Steel, which I liked, but not a lot of people, I know a lot of people aren't the biggest fan of that movie. So we will have to see. But speaking of things that rub people the wrong way, LeBron James retweeted a picture of himself as the Black Panther. Now, I promise I'm not going to do a LeBron rant every single week because I don't like talking about LeBron, but sometimes I have to get frustrations off my chest, people. And this is one of the single most annoying human beings on the planet. Now, I know for some reason he has a lot of fans because he's good at basketball. But he just, it's stuff like this that rubs me the wrong way. We get it, LeBron. You think of yourself as King James. King. Emphasis on the word king. And Black Panther is an African American king. And you too are African American. But see, where Prince T'Challa the Black Panther is an inspirational and amazing African American character, you are a pretentious basketball player. So, LeBron, your ego is showing big time. I know you like showing off your ego and how huge it is, and how you think you are the best player on the planet, and how you think you're chasing the ghost of Michael Jordan, even though you've lost 5 out of 8 NBA Finals and Michael Jordan hasn't lost one. He won 6 and went 6-0, and you are nowhere near his level or ever will be. But what do I know? Bron. His only friend is Dwayne Wade. And unlike Bron, Dwayne Wade is likable. But yeah, I know a lot of people don't like hearing my LeBron rants or might not like my LeBron rants. I've never done an opinion poll and don't plan on it. So, yeah, enough about people that don't matter. Let's talk about something really important. And this weekend, New River Community College is doing their annual Comic Con. Now, I've went to the past 3 Comic Cons at NRCC, and they really go all out with this. They have panels, they have vendors and everything. They have it's sponsored by, or at least they do a lot of promotion with the CW and everything, which I got like a bunch of free posters with Supergirl, The Flash, Green Arrow, and Legends of Tomorrow. So even if you don't have money with you, you can get some awesome, dope stuff. But yeah, you're going to want to bring money with you, at least $2 to get in. That's what I saw on one of the commercials for it last night while watching The Flash. But yeah, there is a lot of stuff with people dress up, and it's near Halloween. I remember their second one, it fell on the day of Halloween. I went as Jason Todd Red Hood that year, and there were a lot of people dressed up, also conveniently in their Halloween costumes. So yeah, if you want to go to that this weekend at New River Community College, I recommend it. It's really fun. I've went all 3 years. This will be the 4th annual one. There's a lot of stuff there. There's video games. Our very own Dr. Matthews, the head of the communications department, will be doing his panel based on Jack Kirby, who is one of the most influential artists in the history of comics. He's done a lot of Spider-Man stuff, Thor, Fantastic Four, and a whole lot of other stuff. You can really see inspiration from his work in the recent, or specifically Phase 3 of the Marvel movies. It's all colorful and everything. Thor definitely is really inspired by Jack Kirby's work. But yeah, that's about all I have this week, folks. That's all the time we have for today. But this has been Geek U on Radio Free Radford with Lucas Goad. Peace out.